International security is about cooperation among all actors of international scene. International scene, we have states, we have countries, we have organizations, but we do also have civil society and societies that are interested in living under various, so to say, international arrangements. So I welcome all of you, and please allow me to briefly speak about how NATO envisages the upcoming summit in Wales, which will mark an important step in the life of the organization, as always summits did. I would say that it is a very good opportunity that we are meeting together because we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Partnership for Peace, a partnership scheme that Armenia joined from the very beginning, since the first years of its independence, and we had always very good cooperation. We still have very good cooperation with Armenia in the framework of the Individual Partnership Action Plan, cooperation at all levels, military, political, public diplomacy, civil emergency. So Partnership for Peace was indeed and continues being a very successful program which paved the way for NATO's developing of relations with more than 40 countries in Eurasia and further beyond, Mediterranean, Arab Gulf. Partnership for Peace created a safe environment in a very broad geographic area, and also it paved the way, together with the European Union, to NATO's consecutive enlargements, thus creating a Europe free and united, and this is our alliance's ultimate achievement, and it should be preserved at any cost, especially now that we are once again challenged by Cold War nostalgic attitudes. Unfortunately, the crisis in Ukraine has been a game changer for NATO, as NATO Secretary General Rasmussen has reiterated on many occasions since the crisis began. Russia's actions pose a real threat to an open rules-based international system based on respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states, and the right to make their own choices without fear of intimidation or interference. Over the last 20 years, we have undertaken serious effort to build confidence with Russia, to bring them into partnership schemes and share with them a forward-looking vision of international relations. But now Russia seems to have chosen confrontation over cooperation and to view NATO as a strategic rival. Thus, we cannot ignore the reality of Russia's present course, and we are obliged to review our relationship. As we look ahead, Russia's actions will also cast the NATO summit in Wales in a very different light. These developments may not fundamentally alter the key themes we will be addressing at the summit, but it certainly adds urgency to our agenda. The summit will still be about the future of the alliance and will set priorities for the alliance for the period after 2014, following the completion of our decade-long mission in Afghanistan. Many of our summit deliverables may in fact be the same, but we will need to work towards achieving them with a new sense of urgency, taking into account the challenges that have emerged over the past several weeks and the lessons we can draw from them. Our first priority is to maintain a strong defense and deterrence in Europe. This means not only having the right capabilities to project stability, but also the right relationships. Consequently, we must deepen our partnerships. This includes intensifying our support for Ukraine and our other Eastern partners. We must also continue to keep our door open for new countries to join our alliance, while making clear that no outside power can have a veto. 4 partnerships are one of the alliance's great success stories. Cooperative security is one of NATO's pillars, and it will remain a key component of the alliance's future. Today's global challenges require a cooperative approach to security. NATO's experience in Afghanistan offered a vivid illustration of how partnerships make the alliance more capable, flexible, and better connected. We built one of the biggest coalitions in recent history with partners from across various continents. Partners have been a key to our success in all our operations over the last 2 decades. Complementing the close relationships among NATO member countries, partnerships are an increasingly important part of the alliance's core business. They have become central to NATO's success, bolstering the effectiveness of our operations. At the Wales Summit, we will aim to broaden and deepen these ties. The event we are organizing together today is an illustration and proof of what NATO nations and partners can achieve when working together. So I repeat that I am very glad towards the organizers, and I would keep my intervention short so that we can listen also to other speakers and then engage to a dialogue with our audience. First of all, about NATO enlargement, I didn't use the word expansion. I talked about enlargement and open door policy. This is a constant, I would say, component of NATO's strategic vision, and it is included in the basic documents governing the alliance. Alliance has an open door policy, meaning that all European countries wishing, I stress wishing, to join the alliance could request a membership. But it comes from a third country. The request should reflect the willingness of a third country. Then there are criteria for this country to fulfill in order to become member. And still, I mean, membership, invitation to membership is a decision to be taken by all allies. 28, since NATO decisions are taken by unanimous vote. So, it is a process. It's not easy, and it's always consensual, meaning that we need both allied members and candidate countries to meet, to find common ground for a new country to be admitted. So, I will be ready to discuss it further if other colleagues have further questions on this issue. On CSTO and NATO Armenia, I would say that the relations of Armenia with NATO since the very beginning, 20 years ago, were always governed by a mutual understanding of Armenia's foreign policy priorities. A partner country is free to choose foreign policy priorities, and this is what Armenia is doing, and we are not concerned by this at all. We have a good dialogue with Armenia, cooperation on defense and security issues, and last but not least, Armenian troops are in NATO operations, which is the ultimate contribution that a country can make. So we are grateful towards this contribution.